There we go. I had to click something.
Oh my God.
I thought it would automatically go.
I thought we were having the same exact problems we had last night. Oh my God. Oh, okay, we're here.
I thought it automatically came to us, but I had to click a button, so that was on me.
All right. Well, you scared the crap out of me. Anyway, we're here. It's an Illinois basketball postgame show from No One Asked Us. He's Craig. I'm Logan. Coming to you immediately following the thriller in the Garden. I don't know what else we're calling it. Illinois takes down number 11 ranked Florida Atlantic, 98-89, behind a couple of monster performances from a couple big Illinois players. We will get into all of this stuff very, very soon. Of course, off the top of the show, like, share, subscribe, get in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be here for about 30 or so minutes after this one. Just kind of try to take it all in. That was a heck of a performance, heck of a night, heck of a basketball game. Kudos to Florida Atlantic. That's a damn good team. I mean, just, we'll get into that at halftime. I don't have a large group chat. It's pretty much just usually like my dad and I. He asked me
how ours.
I could. I might as well. I kind of feel left out. But my dad asked me what my thoughts were, and I said, Florida Atlantic's legit, and Illinois is right there with them. So whatever happens tonight, like, I was cool with it. But this is the far superior outcome, if you ask me. So yeah, let's just get into this thing. Number 20 Illini take down Florida Atlantic 98-89. Of course, the big story of the night. Terrence Shannon and Marcus Domask each put up 33 points for the Illini. Illinois scored 98 points tonight in a college basketball game on national television against the top 15 team, a team that made the Final Four a season ago. This is a big night. This is a big night. Let's open it up to you, Craig. Give me your thoughts. How do you feel right off the top here?
Woo! I haven't been this pumped up for a non-conference game in a long time. I don't remember. I feel like I mean, obviously excited about Texas win last year, the UCLA win last year. Those were massive. For some reason, I don't know if tonight affirms that this team is good, because it's really only the second top tier team. Rutgers is good. Road game at Rutgers is a great win, but this cements that this team's legit. This team is legit. The concerns with this team, for whatever reason, have kind of been calmed for the moment. The last couple, Rutgers pulled out the full court press against this team, and Illinois handled it fine. Florida Atlantic is a top 10 team, and they guarded pretty tough. They're a physical team. Illinois handled it fine. So, I mean, this is a great sign moving forward. And going into this week, I just wanted a 1-1 week. So if Illinois loses this one, that makes Saturday that much more important. So the fact that they got this one in hand, don't want to diminish Saturday, because Saturday's maybe even a bigger game because it's a true road game. But the fact you got this one in hand means that you can lose Saturday and still feel good about this team.
Yeah, I think going into this stretch of 3 games, I was just hoping to get one of them. Honestly, yeah. We talked about it a week or so ago. They're at Rutgers, at neutral against Florida Atlantic, and then on the road at Tennessee. That was going to be a tough stretch of 3 games, and Illinois has already won the first 2 of them. So, I am over the moon. I'm right there with you. This is one of the more pumped times I've been after an Illinois game. Granted, last year, this exact event was similar. Illinois beat Texas in overtime in the Jimmy V Classic last year. We all know what happened after that game. I don't really want to worry about that at the moment. But kind of piggybacking off of my thoughts from the Rutgers game, this team looks like a complete basketball team. I'm not sitting here saying Final Four or bust. I'm not sitting here saying this team is set up to take down Purdue as the best team in the Big Ten. I'm not saying any of that, but this looks like a complete basketball team. We've had the concerns about the point guard situation. At times, I still do have those concerns, but they are able to handle it. They have guys on the floor that can handle the basketball, that can facilitate the situation. They're going to be okay. They are a big team. They are a strong defensive team. And when you have guys like tonight put up 33 points, that's not going to happen every night. We obviously know that. Terrence Shannon's going to average 20 a game. Marcus Domask will have other games where he may only put up 4 points. I hope that doesn't happen. But that you're not going to get this every single night. But on a night like tonight, where the spotlight was as big as you're going to get in a non-conference game, aside from maybe Maui, like this was a big time performance by a couple of veteran players. And we can kind of pivot onto the veteran stuff at some point. But I mean, this is an experienced team, and this is where it's coming into. You're really, really seeing it in games like this.
Yeah, I'm not. There are still concerns, and I don't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll touch on some of them. There are still concerns, and we will touch on them later. But this is a great early season confidence building for this team, because, like I touched on last night, while you were dealing with your tech stuff, there are 4 returning players. Terrence, Ty, Coleman, Luke, and Dang. But Luke missed most of last season. So 4 guys returned from last year that played a full season. They're still feeling out how to play with each other. And to get a win like this, 8 games into the season, is just great for the confidence of this team.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's just go over some of the numbers here. Obviously, the big two, Domask and Shannon finishing both with 33 points apiece. The all-time record for the Jimmy V Classic was Jay Williams' 38. I believe it was in 2001 I saw them put on the board. So for both of these two to put up 33 points in the same game was phenomenal. Let's see. Domask also had 6 boards. Terrence Shannon was 11 for 13 from the free throw line.
The free throw line was not an issue tonight.
No, it wasn't.
They miss 2?
They missed 2. The team was 18 for 20, and they were both Terrence. Terrence was the only one to miss. Quincy was 2 for 2. Coleman was 2 for 2. Marcus Domask, 33 points, 1 free throw.
Yeah.
Crazy. Justin Harmon had a nice night. 10 points for him. A couple free throws. A couple 3-pointers as well. Ty Rogers looked good. Didn't score a single point, but 4 boards, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. He's not the best facilitator in the world, but like he can do some things. And so it was nice to see that from him.
Did you say Ty?
Yeah, Ty.
There's a comment on here.
Is there?
That I wanted to show about Ty, and now I can't. Oh, from Brant. Rogers played the best 0-point game I've seen I've ever seen.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. He had a really nice night. Coleman Hawkins was nice tonight. Had a big stretch of 4 or 5 points in a row there. He finished the game with 9 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block. I don't know what we're going to get out of Coleman Hawkins the rest of this season. Hopefully he continues to get healthier and improve, but he was nice tonight at spurts. And he did I would say a pretty good job of limiting Vlad Golden, but he still finished with 23 points. But yeah, those were the biggest performers of the night. Obviously the main two, Marcus Domask and Terrence Shannon. We know what we're getting out of Terrence Shannon. We know he's the All-American on this team. Marcus Domask, man, I'm telling you, I did not, even me, the one saying the things that I said about him being the most important player on this roster, I didn't expect him to put up 33 points against Florida Atlantic in the Garden. No one in their right mind would have seen that coming. But dude was lights out. He was 2 for 6 from 3, but he was 15 for 21 from the field. He couldn't miss for a while. And they needed every single one of those points. Florida Atlantic is good. That's
what I was thinking. The whole second half, Marcus is going off and the whole second half, I was like, is that a good shot? I don't know, dude. I don't know. One of these he's gonna miss one of these.
Kept making them. Kept making them.
He never missed. He made every single one of them. Did he actually? How many?
No,
He was
didn't
11 of 15 in the second half.
Okay.
4 of 6 in the first half, 11 of 15 in the second half. So he didn't miss 4, but every time he shot it, I was like, ooh, is this the one he missed? It was incredible. You know me, analytics guy here. This is, by the way, this is our largest post-game viewing audience we've got so far. So thank you all for joining. For those that are new,
Hello,
every game I have the live stats up, and I'm an analytics guy. So for those that are new, there are really three kind of analytics that I look at. One of them is efficiency, which is the good minus the bad: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, all added up, minus missed shots and turnovers. A good efficiency is like 15 to 20. Terrence was 27, and Marcus Domask was 35 in efficiency. Because basically that says you're doing the good stuff good and you're not making mistakes. You're not missing shots and you're not turning the ball over, and you're scoring points. And then the other one is game score. It's I don't know the actual algorithm for it, but it's on a scale of 0 to 40. I have never seen a score in the 20s on game score, and Illinois had 2 of them tonight. Terrence 24.4 and Domask 26.4. Just 2 of the best analytical performances I have ever seen because they didn't make mistakes. Terrence had 4 turnovers. Domask had 1, and they each missed 4 shots. Domask missed 6 shots. So they weren't missing shots and they weren't turning the ball over. That it was one of the best duo performances from the Illini I've seen maybe since the Final Four team, the 3-headed monster. Like, it was incredible to watch those 2 go to work tonight.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I was having a lot of inner monologue about how good of a player Terrence Shannon is. Yeah. And that's a conversation we can have at some point, but I don't want to call it the emergence, but there's not enough positive things I can say about Marcus Domask tonight. Like, he was every bit of as important as anybody else.
He was guarding his ass off too.
Yeah.
He was guarding John L. Davis most of the game, and whoever he was guarding, he was keeping in front of. I don't know how many times he got beat on the defensive end either.
I love it.
That's another analytical stat. I don't want to get too analytical for our fans out there, but another analytical stat is net points, which is, points you accounted for, which were either you scored or assisted on, and then points you gave up. Domask and Shannon were the only 2 positive in net points, and they were both in double figures tonight in net points. So that means they were doing it on both ends of the floor.
Got a lot of people in the chat.
We do.
Anybody we want to shout out here?
This is a decent one that came in from Dade. Io in 21 or Terrence Shannon this year is a real conversation.
So that kind of goes off of the inner monologue I was having during the game. Where do you put Terrence Shannon in terms of recent Illinois players? I think that the comment I made to Allison,
how far are we going back?
Really
first?
Care.
What do you consider recent?
I just said I'm not sure I'm ready to put him in the Io and Kofi conversation yet.
Yeah,
but he's damn close.
If he takes his team to a second weekend, like how are we accounting for tournament? Team success.
Exactly.
Here?
Exactly. I mean, this is an adult performance. This is a performance that will take you places and do things.
He was an NBA player tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I know he is going to play in the NBA. He's got the build, he's got the game for it. But I didn't quite think he had solidified that yet. But I think tonight in the Garden against the top 10 team, number 11, coming off of a Final Four, I mean, he was playing like an NBA player. Like, no one in the NBA is going to stop the stuff he's doing. He's the quickest from half court to the rim. He is the quickest player in college basketball, probably. That plays in the NBA. So, I mean, the conversation is getting closer. I mean, I still think Io's ahead of him. Kofi was just such a dominating force. He's probably still ahead of him, but Terrence is probably number 3 of Illini in the last 15 to 20 years.
I mean, Terrence Shannon has...
Well, not 20, because 20 goes back to the Final Four team, and he's not in there.
I mean, he has All-American aspirations, so I think if he if he gets
He's
that
first team
All-America
All-American right now.
Yeah, if he gets that All-America status, then I think that you have to throw him in the conversation.
Yep.
I was going to look over some of these numbers here. Florida Atlantic did out-rebound Illinois, 28-26. Also, several more assists than Illinois had tonight.
Billis mentioned that.
Yeah.
Billis was talking about, and it's true. A majority of Illinois' points came from Domask and Shannon in isolation.
Yeah.
Just give them the ball. And I love the game plan. It's exactly what Brad said he was going to do when they got beat by Jalen Pickett 3 times last year. Like, that was the blueprint for this team because they're playing everyone in their starting lineup 6'6" or taller.
Yeah.
And FAU starts 4 guards that are about 6'6" or shorter. So if Domask had the point guard on him, he was posting up. Like, that's the game plan. That is going to be Marcus Domask all season. If he's got the opposing point guard on him, he's going into the post, he's backing him down, he's shooting right over the top of him. And he did that 10 times tonight and probably made 9 of the 10, if not 10 of the 10. So kudos to Brad. I thought the game plan, or whoever had the scout, whoever developed the game plan, was spot on the offensive end tonight.
Yeah, they had it figured out. They were matched up really well. The size advantage helps, and that was something that they did touch on early in the broadcast. And it's true.
Illinois going to have it a lot this year because of that starting lineup.
Yeah, that's the starting lineup of everybody's 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", 6'6", 6'8". Like, it's, you're just not going to run into that. And Vlad Golden is one of the better post players you're going to see.
Yeah.
He put up 23 points in 19 minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. He was in serious foul trouble in the first half. I don't even know how many minutes he played in the first half, but it wasn't a ton.
I got you.
But still finished with 23 points.
6 minutes in the first half.
So
13 in the second half.
Certainly he's one of the better post players you're going to see this year. He's no Zach Edey, but just knowing that Illinois was able to, keep him to a fairly modest 23 when the team scored 89,
that's what I was going to say. He fouled out and left the game, and they said he had 23. Yeah. I was like, dude barely played. How did he get 23? It's because he didn't miss a freaking shot.
Yeah. Illinois won the points in the paint battle, 48-36. The bench put up 19 points. It was, a lot of the scoring was obviously done by the 2 starters, but yeah. Where else should we go?
Okay.
I don't even know. I'm all sorts of scatterbrained.
We're talking all positive here.
Okay.
Because this is a great win.
Correct. Let's save the negative for the end.
Is it a little concerning that there's only 2 players on this team that you trust right now?
I don't know that that's necessarily true. There were 2 players.
You can't tell me you were confident when Coleman took that 3.
No, I wasn't confident with him. But you're saying that. Okay, I see what you're saying.
In tonight, it's not for the season.
Yeah,
tonight.
It is a little concerning, sure. But I don't think that this team is just those 2 players. I do think there are enough guys on this team that can help you on any given night. We've seen Quincy Guerrier put up double-doubles. We've seen, we haven't seen much of Coleman Hawkins this year, but we know what he's capable of doing. Justin Harmon looked pretty good tonight for most of the game.
A lot of love for Justin in the chat tonight.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. And yes, that is probably concerning to an extent. But I will counter that by saying it is December 5th. And this is arguably the best team Illinois will see all year, not named Purdue, until the tournament. Maybe, possibly. Tennessee's obviously going to be in that conversation. You might have a Big Ten team emerge, but right now, Illinois is I think Illinois is the clear number 2 team of the Big Ten. Yeah. So, sure, yes, that is concerning, but I think that there's time to get that figured out. Hopefully Coleman, whether it's health or if he was hurt and he, maybe he's still trying to get into some things. He played 26 minutes tonight, which other than Marcus Domask and Terrence Shannon was the most on the team. But yeah, you need to get more production out of other guys. I do not disagree with that. But I didn't think that was super concerning. I'm not super concerned about that in particular, but I totally get where you're coming from. I would be more concerned with certain players that I just haven't really felt like they've given the development that they should have at this point.
Name names.
Well, I mean, Dane. I mean,
I think I'm out on Dane.
I'm not out on Dane, and there are certain games that are Dane games. Maybe this just wasn't a Dane game. He still played 11 minutes, put up 4 points. He's going to be a mid-major killer, and you still have a few more of those games ahead, and there will be Big Ten games where he will help you out. But I just thought at this point we would have seen more from him, and we really haven't. So that's kind of concerning to me a little bit. I mean, we didn't really touch. Well, we touched on it a little bit. I mean, the Trey Gibbs Longhorn thing. 2 minutes tonight, 0 minutes against Rutgers. There's something going on there. I have to think. I don't know. I'm not going to get here and speculate about that. That's not what this conversation is about.
Well, it's what we talked about yesterday. Harmon's playing well.
Yeah.
Harmon's playing well, and Ty's playing well. He's not scoring, but Ty's playing well. Marcus has stepped into a point guard role. He's playing out of this world.
Right.
Terrence is like, I just don't know. There's a spot right now. For
and when it gets down to it, I mean, Brad's going to play 8 or 9 deep.
Yeah.
And right now he's playing about 8 deep. The 5 starters plus Harmon, Danger, and Goody. Those are the guys that got most of the minutes tonight. Hansberry came in at the end of the first half to when the other 2 centers were in foul trouble, and Dre came in and got 2 minutes on the court. So the freshmen are not playing right now.
I mean, and you got to think Moretti's probably coming back at some point. He hasn't been ruled out for the season, so he will be back eventually.
He might steal some minutes from somewhere. But yeah, I mean, Brad played pretty much 8 deep tonight. So but again, we'll see. This is a good Florida Atlantic team, and this is a better team that you're going to see throughout most of the season. So so yeah.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
No, good. No, what were you going to say?
How about the fact that MLB breaking news. The fact that I felt like I guess we can say we're a fan podcast. Our defense was, I feel like, pretty outstanding, and Florida Atlantic still scored 89 points.
I know.
Like, I'll be the first to admit, and I think I said it in our show last week, maybe. I thought the rankings and the numbers were a little bit skewed because of their run last year, and any team can get hot. That's a top 15 team.
They're good, man.
That's a legit Florida Atlantic team, because I thought Illinois' defense was pretty excellent tonight, and they still put up 89 points.
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot about FAU.
They're definitely, that's a legit basketball team. I thought early in the game, this felt like a Sweet 16 game. This really felt more like an Elite 8 or a Final Four game, based on the talent on the floor. Final Four might be a stretch. Elite 8, I think, is fair. I think this is an Elite 8 caliber game, an Elite 8 caliber atmosphere. Like, these are the kind of games you want to be playing late into March.
I hate that I'm doing this, but where are the NCAA tournament locations this year?
Oh, goodness. I haven't even looked at that. I have looked at that, but not in a long time. So
last year there was one here. The Creighton San Diego State regional was here, whichever one that was.
Oh, yeah.
Regionals: Boston, LA, Dallas, and Detroit. And Final Four in Glendale.
Thank you. Cool. Where else do you want to go? Do we need to give out any awards? I mean, I think we already know.
Do we need to do everyday guys? Because we know who they are.
I mean, yeah, this game belonged to 2 players. If I was going to give out a secondary award, it would probably go to Justin Harmon. A nice 10 points from him. 2 for 2 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 3 for 5 from the field. He's getting good minutes. Played 22 minutes tonight off the bench. He would be where I would go to somebody not named Domask or Shannon. I think that'd be the easy one. You could also maybe go Ty Rogers. As I said, no points, but still 5 boards, couple assists, 3 assists. He looked nice tonight in spurts. Still figuring some things out. Do we want? Is there anything else that concerns us right now?
I don't
that we
want
need
to.
to
I don't want to
go
dwell too
over?
much on the
Okay, good.
concerns after a win like
Good.
this.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anyone's in the chat that has a question, there's a lot of people commenting. If anyone has a question that we want to talk about, throw it out there. I'm going through. There's a lot going on here. We almost got triple digits in here right now. So if you got a question,
wow. Hey, thanks for hanging out.
If you're here, subscribe. I mean, that would be great.
Please. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
We're really close to 500. We're really close to 500.
That'd be dope.
We need like 2 more. Come on, do it. Trying to get the balloons to pop up.
Yeah, we're really close to 500 subscribers, so that would be cool if you could drop that while you're here. Yeah, there's been some questions I've seen. Someone
said no Coleman comeback love.
I mean,
Logan's mentioned how good he played tonight. I thought he had his moments. I wasn't as impressed.
No, I don't think he played a solid. I don't think it was his best 40 minutes or whatever he ended up playing minute wise. But I think for spurts, he looked better out there. There was that stretch where he scored 4 or 5 points in a row.
Yeah.
He did hit the big 3 at the end. I like having him out there. I know he's a headache, and I know a lot of people are frustrated with him. I think Coleman Hawkins is a guy that you're going to want to have on this team late in the year. He's a veteran guy. He can do a lot of things. Still 9 points tonight, only a couple of rebounds. We'd like to see a little bit more of that. But I'm glad that he's starting to get into the flow of things. Again, he was hurt. He probably wasn't 100% when the season started. Or close to it. And then, he missed a few games, and then he kind of eased his way back into it against Rutgers and, another 26 minutes tonight. So I do think Coleman will be fine. But I understand why, part of the fan base has negative feelings towards him. I get it. But, he looked like, at least at moments tonight, he looked like the all-conference caliber player that you hoped he would be coming into this season.
By middle of February, he'll be fine. Now, Brad did say that the knee injury is probably something he's going to be dealing with. I think he said for the rest of his career. So it's just a matter of taking care of that and not re-injuring that and let that nag. But yeah, by February, Coleman should be fine.
If things are going well, I'm fine with Terrence Shannon, Marcus Domask, and Coleman Hawkins being a 3-headed monster of sorts. I mean, I think that's a dangerous combination when it comes to tournament time.
Yeah.
And I think that, if you can get him to, even 85%, I think that's beneficial to have him out there because, as we talked about, the depth at that position isn't great. Yeah. Dane is formidable against certain opponents, and he can give you decent minutes against teams like Florida Atlantic, but he's not somebody that you can totally trust out there every single night to, give you 10 and 10 type numbers.
Yep. My buddy Jason from Pinckneyville. Thanks for tuning in.
Jason, what's up, man?
A couple key steals. Yeah. Right after I texted one of my buddies that Coleman is a liability, or I said, what did I say? I said Coleman is an absolute liability, and he made the steal. He made a shot, then he made a steal, and it was within like the 30 seconds that you have to edit the text. So I edited the text, and I said Coleman is not a total liability. Apparently, Jason says he heard he's playing through a torn ACL, but Jason did have a question. Not in this game, but Goody needs to seek more 3. That's kind of who I was talking about when I was talking about, there were only 2 scorers tonight. I was kind of wanting more from Luke. I thought Luke would get a little bit more tonight. He would have been the third person that I trusted tonight to take shots if needed to be. So
the other 2 were just the other 2 were just so hot. Like they were just hot
you had to ride them.
They were where the ball was going every possession.
Yes.
So
yes. And how often can a team shut down 2? Like they could focus on Terrence, but there's no way that they can focus on both of them.
Luke
and not let them get open.
Luke will have his moments, and Luke will have his nights where he's not going to put up 33 points, but he'll have games where he is more useful than he was tonight. They just didn't really need it. I mean, it was the other 2 that really carried the offense for this team, and that's the thing. I just think there's enough depth on this team that they can get through, games with guys, even if Marcus Domask isn't going to put up 20 points or whatever. There's enough dudes that can do it.
Brant's got a question for us. Late game, who are the 5 you put on the court?
I guess that depends on if it's what the situation is.
I would say like a 2-possession game with under a minute.
Shannon and Domask for sure. Obviously, Coleman. I would want Coleman on there offensively or defensively because you don't have another post presence at all. I mean, tonight I really like Justin Harmon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Quincy Guerrier was. Was he in foul trouble? He
had 3.
Did he just lose the trust? Was he? I mean,
he was hardly on
he was hardly on the floor at all. He went from
minutes.
a double guy for 2 straight games or whatever to kind of non-existent tonight. So I guess it just kind of depends. There's going to be ebbs and flows. I think that those last 2 spots is some combination of Guerrier, Rogers, Harmon, Goody. I don't know. It just depends on the situation. It just depends on the game. It's hard to pick right now who it would be because I feel like it's changed every game.
Mine would be Ty, Marcus, Terrence, Luke, and Coleman, and just make sure that the ball is not in Ty's hands to shoot free throws.
Yeah.
Because he can't make a free throw. So other than that, I think those are the 5 you roll with late game.
And if we get to that point with Ty Rogers, I'll be happy with that. I just don't think we're there yet.
Yep.
Yeah. But I like the emergence of Justin Harmon at times, but there's also been nights where he hasn't really done much either. So we're still kind of trying to figure some of these things out. You guys think Florida Atlantic is better than Marquette? No, I do not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think Marquette is one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the country. I think Florida Atlantic is probably in the top 10, 15.
15.
I'd say Marquette is higher than that, but they're both very good. They're both very good teams. Marquette has probably the best point guard in the entire country. Florida Atlantic just has a lot of dudes that can do a lot of things. What else?
Keep hating, Joe.
Hater. Hooter.
Here's our guy.
Mike. Yeah, I think he was pretty good guarding the 3 against those shorter guys. Yeah. That's true. I'm not sure who the shorter guys are at this point, but yeah, no, you're right.
Another good point for Michael. And this kind of goes back to the comp that we had for Quincy being DeMonte. In a way, it's not an exact comp, but DeMonte was a defensive rebounding guy. Quincy's a 4 inches taller DeMonte.
Yeah.
Now he does need to figure out his shot because his shot he was 0 of 1 from 3, I think.
Yep.
He made one at Rutgers. I think he made one at Rutgers. But he's like 3 of 20 on the season.
Yeah,
so
it's not very good right now.
And
he's
Jason
been a decent 3-point shooter in
not
his
a good
career,
matchup
but not
for Quincy tonight.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's probably going to be matchup based, and that's the thing. I mean, that's why you have 8 or 9 guys that can all help you out because on each individual night, they're going to be good and bad matchups for guys. And Brad has a solid mix there, and you'll have nights where Dre Gibbs Lawhorn is more effective than somebody else. So
I was just going to mention the freshman. I know Dre played 2 minutes. Amani played 3. So it's not like they're out there for 25 here, but it was nice to get their feet wet for them to take the warm up off, to lace the shoes up and get on the court at least. Because it doesn't get any bigger than Madison Square Garden. Like they're not going to play in the game more important than this one. Well, that's not true because conference games are more important, but they're not at Madison Square Garden on national TV, on ESPN, like the biggest ESPN event of the year, the Jimmy V Classic. So it was good for them to at least get on the floor.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think this is an obvious answer from John Lee.
John, if Illinois beats Tennessee, will they be in the top 10? I would think so, yes.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, I guess it'll also depend on what else happens around them, but yeah, I think that is a pretty good chance that they will shoot up that high, or at least come pretty close to. What is Tennessee right now in the rankings? Can you talk about
17,
this?
I think.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, maybe they'd be close to it, if not. Tennessee is a stronger defensive team.
That is
Knoxville
true.
might be a brick fight. Do we know what the status of Dalton Connect is? Is he hurt?
He did get hurt during one of their games. Tennessee's number 2 in Ken Palm defense. Illinois was number 8, and they are now number 9 because they gave up 89 points, I'm assuming. But Tennessee is elite defensively and very, very, very physical.
Dalton Connect will be available for tonight's game against George Mason.
They won by like 21, I think.
Did he play?
That I do not know.
You're supposed to know these things, Craig.
Dalton
That's why
Connect.
we pay you so much money.
He did play. He scored 10 points. He was 4 of 11 from the field.
Whatever. Either way, you know, it'll be a fun game. We'll see what happens. We got the 2 wins to start this trifecta. So I'm cool with whatever happens, but would love to see a win. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. I would like a win Saturday more than I would like a win. Would have liked to win today. I think winning a true road game means more than a neutral site game. You're Mr. Bracketologist here. How does the committee look at these?
It's huge.
Are they both quad ones?
What's the question?
I'm assuming they're both quad ones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. I didn't know how much of a factor neutral site was opposed to true road game.
I mean, it's less of a factor, but yes, they're both still quad 1 wins. I just got a text from somebody asking if I want my boy back, and I believe that he is referring to RJ Melendez because he's a Georgia fan. So I'm just curious to see what RJ did tonight to bring up that, but that's not important.
I'll look it up. You've talked about something. We've got a lot of people in here, so we don't need to stop. If people are still on here, we can keep talking.
Well, ask questions.
Give us questions.
Give us things to talk about. I haven't even looked at the bracketology stuff, but yeah, and it's still a quad 1 win for sure. Let me look at bracketologist.com. It's my favorite website.
Georgia beat Georgia Tech 76-62 tonight.
How'd our boy RJ do?
RJ Melendez went 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3, 6 points and 7 rebounds.
Well, that's why. Nick, if you're watching, I'm sure you're not. No, we're good. Yes, this was a quad 1 win. Quad 1, just for the record. I have this in here. Quad 1 for a neutral is 1 through 50. So unless they drop out of the top 50 in the net, I think this will stay a quad 1 win for sure. And yes, obviously Tennessee will also be a quad 1 win. So as far as quad 1 and all that stuff go, Illinois is 1-1 in quad 1, 1-0 in quad 3, and 4-0 in quad 4. They have yet to play a single quad 2 game, but it is December 5th, and the net is just a mess at this point in the year. So don't take too much stock into that if you're curious.
Michael's really looking ahead.
Somebody like Princeton is number 9 in the net, so I wouldn't really worry.
Net doesn't mean anything right now.
Do we go undefeated in December? No, I think they'll probably lose.
I think they lose Saturday.
I mean, I love it if they don't, and I hope they win. But I think Illinois loses that game, but I'm fine even if they do. Because then after that, you have Colgate and then Mizzou, who's not very good, but it's up bragging rights, and you never know what happened there. And then you have Fairleigh Dickinson. And then
have you ever been to a bragging rights game?
Always wanted to go, but I've never gone. And it's less and less likely the further I am away from it. So, no, I've never been. I've always wanted to go, but no. And it means a lot less now than it used to. Those games.
I went to my first one. I believe it was.
You were just down the road. How many of those did you go to?
Well, growing up, I only went to one, and it was maybe 2007 or 2008, maybe something like that. Because I do remember 10 years to the day, I covered my first one. So it was 2017 or 18. I covered my first one. And 10 years prior, I posted a picture because our seats were the very, very, very top row of the Scott Trade Center. My back was to the wall. And then 10 years later, to the day, I was sitting courtside. I was like, oh, full circle moment here. So there was a stretch that I went to 6 in a row, 5 or 6 in a row, because of obviously working for it.
I see my dad's in the chat. I would like to ask my father why I've never been to a bragging rights game. Tim, you had 18 years with me, man. What happened? Why did we never go to St. Louis a couple nights before Christmas? But yeah, that's coming up. But either way, we're getting way too far ahead.
Fox the River wants to touch on some of the negatives.
Fox the River. Love this team right now, but another game with double-digit turnovers. Is that just how Brad wants them to play? Listen, man. The turnovers were a factor, certainly.
Comes with
early on in this game.
Comes with the territory with no point guard.
Yeah, you have no point guard and you scored 93 points, which means there's a lot of possessions and stuff like this happens. This team is going to turn the ball over. Like, it just is. Like, I don't think there's anything you're going to do about that. Again, there is no point guard on this roster. So it's going to be messy at times. Terrence Shannon, love him to death, is sometimes he's out of control when he drives to the basket. It's going to happen. Dane Danger shouldn't dribble more than twice when he has the ball. Sometimes it's going to happen. Coleman Hawkins, sometimes he's going to throw an error and pass some. Like, that stuff's going to happen. Especially, again, when you don't have a point guard and you scored 98 points. How many possessions in this game? Like,
that's what Bill Reynolds just said, 98 points.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the turnovers are obviously an issue, but I'm not too terribly concerned about it at the moment.
Yeah.
I saw my dad responded to my question. We had a game.
He did.
Night. Yeah, we probably did.
We had a game.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off of our looking ahead to Tennessee, Jason again had a good point. Good teams don't have letdowns after big games like tonight. A close loss Saturday is still a win in my book. I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
If they keep it to a single digit game at the under 4 media timeout of the second half, like, I'm fine with that. Like, because we got the win tonight, that makes me fine with that. Now, if we hadn't got the win tonight, I'd be a little more concerned. But yeah, if Illinois keeps it close, which I think they should. I mean, the two teams are so similar. I don't think either Tennessee or Illinois is head and shoulders better. So it should be a great game Saturday. I have a freaking wedding, so I won't be able to watch the end of it.
Sorry.
I'm upset about that.
Sorry for your loss. What else? Anything else? Anybody else in the chat? What's going on in this Carolina UConn game? Are you watching it?
It was tied last I looked. Okay. Just looked at this.
Any other scores from around the Big Ten or around basketball?
Yeah, your dad
need to get over.
Tim mentioned.
Tim's in
Michigan
the chat
State
with scores.
Michigan State struggling early on in the year. They lost to Wisconsin today.
Let's see. Let's pull up the Big Ten scoreboard since we're here. Yes, Wisconsin big over Michigan State in East Lansing, 70-57. Right now, it's still in the first half in Ann Arbor. Michigan is down to Indiana just by a couple points, so that's early. And then in the top 25, you mentioned UConn, and UConn's up 2 on Carolina right now. Kansas is up big on Kansas City. Anything else of note? Probably not. Tennessee won big over George Mason. We'll see Tennessee on Saturday. Oklahoma won big over Providence, and then Wisconsin over Michigan State. This has been fun.
It's been great.
A fun night. This is a good win. That is a good Florida Atlantic team. Go American sports. Go.
Yay, go.
Go.
There you go.
Yeah, this is a good Florida Atlantic team. There's nothing to be down about after this one. Proud of you for that. Outside of Marquette and Purdue, that's probably, and maybe Tennessee, that's probably the best team you're going to see all season long, and you beat them on a neutral court in New York City. So
we still have triple digit people in here. If you're still in here, like the video.
Yep.
Subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe. You don't ever
after
have to
you
come
said
back
that
again.
the first time, our subscriber number went up 4.
Okay.
It went from 475 to 479.
Okay.
So while you're here, let's just do this. Let's just try to get to 500. Can we do it? All we need is 21 more.
Can you watch the subscriber total live?
You can just refresh the page. We would love to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already done it, just click the subscribe button. That's it. That's all we're asking. We're not.
Do you want to
asking
make the
much.
commitment that we're going to stay live until we hit 500, or is that too much for you?
I don't know if that'll actually happen. Will people actually do that? Oh, we're up to 482. We're up to 482. Oh, can we do this?
Keep going. Come on.
If you're watching this on any other platform, Facebook, Twitter, wherever this is, go to YouTube and hit subscribe. Find our page and hit subscribe. Where no one asked us. We would love to get to 500. Why not? Why not have it happen right now? We've already gone up at least 7 tonight, so I don't think we're going to do it until we hit 500, but you know what? It'd be really cool if we could. So I'm
tweeting it out, so give us a little bit more.
Okay, give us a little bit of time. All right, we're going to try to do this live. All right. I'm trying to think what else we could even talk about. There's a lot of people in the chat. Thank you all for hanging out here with us. I still don't understand why Illinois played the Jimmy V Classic twice in 2 years in a row. Apparently, Terrence Shannon has played it 4 out of his 5 years.
It's insane.
What in the world?
That is absolutely bonkers.
Is it just the Terrence Shannon Invitational?
I guess.
What is this?
I don't know.
We're up to 484.
484. We're getting close. I don't know if we can do it. If we can do it
Illinois played this thing 2 years in a row, won both of them.
Which that's bonkers in itself enough.
Does it have to do with Brad being such a big advocate for Coaches versus Cancer? Do you think that has some sort of connection to it?
Probably.
Is that like a thing? I don't know that that's the reason. I'm not reporting that by any means. But I don't know. I thought that was one thing I did think about. But yeah, I thought the whole Terrence Shannon thing was pretty cool. Yeah, I think somebody's unsubscribed from us, so now somebody's toying with us. Whatever.
Haters.
We don't have to sit here.
Haters.
Do this for an hour.
How long is Dusty May at FAU?
This is his last year.
Yeah, I know he just signed an extension, but he cannot.
No, he stuck around because he got all those guys to stay. Yeah. I don't know how many more years of eligibility these players have, but no, he'll be. I don't know what the job will be that'll open up for him, but he'll take it. I don't know how long. I'm not going to sit here and predict who's going to be, what position is going to be vacant this offseason, but I do know where his alma mater is, and I know that at some point that position might become available. But is this you saying he should go to Louisville?
100%. 100%.
We're up to 485.
Louisville looks better this year, but they're still going to be below 500, and people around here just don't accept that. So I think they got to fire the guy, and people are going to cry for Jay Wright, but he's not coming back to coaching. So I think Dusty May is a great alternative. Squared circle squares. What's your thoughts on Amani Hansberry?
Right now, he's a good depth piece. It's good that he's getting some experience. There will be moments still, even during the course of the Big Ten season, where he'll have more opportunities to play more minutes and play more useful minutes. But as of right now, he's still just the third center on this team. And I think that's all there is to it. I think he definitely has a future in orange and blue, and I think that he will be a fine player for this team down the road. But for right now, he's behind both Coleman Hawkins and Dane Danger. You can say what you want about Dane. You can say what you want about Coleman, but I don't think Amani's playing over either of them at this particular junction.
Yeah. That's all
refreshing.
I've got.
I keep refreshing, but the number's staying on 485. I was hoping
that's 10 more, right?
It's at least. When I looked at it at one point, it was 475. So we've added 10 more. So that's pretty cool. So thank you to those of you that have.
I believe this has been our most live viewers on a post game.
Gee, I wonder why. It's a Tuesday night in December. Nobody has anything else better to do, and Illinois just played one of their most exciting games in years.
I mean, why did nobody watch our Oakland post game? I don't understand it.
$1 million question, Craig. $1 million question. Why didn't enough people suffer through me screwing around with my technology last night?
Yeah.
To hear me rant about the ESPN Invitational. I don't know. Whatever. All right, let's shut this thing down. How about? We've been on here for almost an hour. Appreciate all of you that have tuned in. Appreciate all of you that will watch or listen to this later. This has been fun. Big win for the Illini tonight on the road, but in a neutral game against Florida Atlantic. Sure. 98-89 in the Jimmy V Classic in Madison Square Garden. Next up for the Illini is a trip to Knoxville, Tennessee on Saturday to take on the Volunteers. That's an early tip-off, right?
It is noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central on Saturday. That's a CBS game, I believe, for those that are interested in where you can watch it. You'll be able to watch it on CBS. All right. For Craig, I'm Logan. We will not have a post-game show on Saturday. By the way, Craig is busy, so we'll just talk about it Monday afterwards. Win or lose, we'll probably have a show on Monday, and then after that, it might just be post game shows for a while, but TBD. All right, we'll shut it down. Thank you again for everybody for tuning in, checking us out, hanging with us, getting in the chat. And thank you for those of you that have subscribed to the page tonight to help us get closer to our 500 number. Maybe up to 486.
We still Logan never fulfilled his side of the deal because we didn't reach the deal that he was going to grow a Matthew Meyer mullet if we got to 500. I believe that deal still stands.
Was it 500?
It might have been 1,000.
I think it was 1,000. Oh, Matthew Meyer. That was a time. I'm glad we have Marcus Domask. For Craig, I'm Logan. We will see you guys on Monday. ILL. INI.